Greetings, one and all, watching on JB Motorsports to the WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca in Monterey, California. It is the 14th race of the 2025 NTT INDYCAR Series, and it's the Java House Grand Prix of Monterey. A potential championship could be decided today with a big opportunity for Alex Palou if he takes the victory today from pole position with his main rival Pato O'Ward starting alongside him, failing to score. That will be the fourth INDYCAR title for Alex Palou in 5 years. Big opportunity for the Spaniard. Good evening, everybody. Jake Sanson in the commentary box. Alongside me with occasional punditry will be JT, Joshua Turner. Let's talk you through the starting grid for this potentially championship-deciding encounter in the INDYCAR Series 2025 at Laguna Seca, with the corkscrew set to be the playing field that could give us a 2025 INDYCAR champion. Will it be tonight, or will we have to wait until we get to Portland in 2 weeks' time for the Bitnar.com Grand Prix? Let's find out as we get ourselves ready for the start here at Laguna Seca. First of all, the starting grid from the back to the front. It'll be Devlin DeFrancesco that takes up his residency at the back end of the starting grid. Then it'll be Stingray Rob on the outside of row 13 alongside Robert Schwartzman. Row 12 of the grid will see Callum Eilert for Prima alongside Connor Daly in the 76. Alexander Rossi for the Java House car lining up alongside the rookie Jacob Abel. Santino Ferrucci lining up on row 10. On the inside of that, it's the legend Scott Dixon, 19th on the grid. Carl Kirkwood way down in 18th on the grid alongside Rinus Van Kampfelt. Then it is Nolan Siegel alongside Marcus Ericsson, former Indy 500 winner. Kevin Simpson, the Cayman, alongside Scott McLaughlin, the New Zealander. Felix Rosenqvist lines up on row 6 alongside Christian Rasmussen. Great chance for him to move forward. Marcus Armstrong outside of row 5 alongside Louis Foster, the rookie. Then on the 4th row, Graham Rahal is beside Christian Lundgaard. Row 3, David Malukas, P6. P5 on the grid for Will Power. Great chance for the legend to rock on. On the 2nd row, it's Joseph Newgarden alongside Colton Herter. And then the title protagonists will go toe-to-toe on the front row. Pato O'Ward versus Alex Palou. Well, this is going to be a very tough battle indeed, particularly considering that this is where a champion could potentially be crowned. The gap between Alex Palou and Pato O'Ward is 100 points exactly. 537 to Palou, 437 to O'Ward. If O'Ward doesn't score and Alex Palou takes the victory, we are going to crown a champion. That is a very difficult scenario to predict. I think it's more likely that we are going to have a retirement. I have a feeling it's going to be likely that we are going to have to wait until Portland to crown the champion. But certainly for Alex Palou, the statement of intent is going to be there. JT, very exciting to see the two top protagonists in INDYCAR on the front row of the grid together and at Laguna Seca, no less.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, everyone. Welcome along. Well, it's definitely... welcome along. Good to have you here, and good to hear your voice on it.
I'm quite excited about this one, I have to say. This is going to be a really entertaining battle for supremacy here. And this is basically about survival in the championship fight for Pato O'Ward. It's almost impossible for Alex Palou to be champion today, but there is still a genuine opportunity for the other contenders to take advantage of the situation. On board with Dixon, way down in 19th on the starting grid. It's going to be a tough one for him to make progress. The Gamebridge car, Colton Herter, P3 on the starting grid. Pato O'Ward is going to have an interesting one, but so is this man, David Malukas, from P6 on the grid. So there's plenty of opportunities to watch some great duels from the outset. Lots of big opportunities through the field coming in this one. I think we're going to see some really exciting dueling from the outset. But it is the 28-year-old from Sant Antoni de Villamayor, the Spanish driver Alex Palou, champion in 21, 23 and 24. And this year's Indy 500 winner that goes from pole position in the Java House Grand Prix of Monterey here at Laguna Seca. For Pato O'Ward, now that he's finally figured out how to win a race in 2025, he will want to keep the bandwagon rolling. Only 4 drivers leading up to this point have managed to score points for the victory in 2025. That is Alex Palou, Carl Kirkwood, Scott Dixon, and Pato O'Ward. Pato taking 2 wins in the last 3. Iowa race 1, and last time out at Toronto, of course. So he's kept himself in the hunt, but now he is 100 points adrift with 50 available for the race victory, and with 200 points remaining on the board for this year's title fight. So it's definitely still to play for, but it's going to be a tight one as Alex Palou takes 1 step closer to becoming a 4-time champion. And there are not many people here in the world of IndyCar who can claim that. So it's going to be an interesting one from the start. Carl Kirkwood and Scott Dixon have very slender holds now on this title, but it does look like it's going to go between either Palou or O'Ward, with the former most likely to be champion, Alex Palou, who of course took victory several times over the course of this season at St. Petersburg, at Thermal Club, at Barber, at Indianapolis Grand Prix course, and the Indy 500 itself, as well as at Road America and in the second race at Iowa. So it's almost inevitable that Alex Palou is going to become champion for the 4th time in 5 years. But the question is, when? Will it happen today? Will it happen at Portland? Will it happen at the Milwaukee Mile in West Allis, Wisconsin? Or will he wait until the Nashville Superspeedway in Lebanon, Tennessee? That's going to be a fascinating end to the season. But now we're going to continue on with the battles on one of the top Grand Prix courses in American motorsport, Laguna Seca. Side by side on the start then, Palou versus O'Ward. And this is going to be an intriguing start from the outset. Keep an eye on the guys behind as well. Joseph Newgarden versus Will Power is going to be an interesting one as well in the early stages. Colton Herta from that second row of the grid. Here they come off the final turn, and for the first time tonight, here at the Grand Prix of Monterey, it is going to be a start, and we are under start. It is green, 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 green. Let's race at Laguna Seca. And Palou gets a beautiful start. Colton Herta gets the jump on Pato O'Ward initially on the inside line. He's going to be able to hold that surely as Pato O'Ward tries to commit to the outside and gets squeezed by Colton Herta. So it's Palou, Herta, and O'Ward as the battle really shapes up behind them as well. It's a very nice mix as the competitors work their way through. And there's contact in the background. 2 cars are spat out off the turn. That is Kiffin Simpson, I believe, who's gone around. The 76 is involved in one of the incidents there. That is Connor Daly. So Connor Daly's gone off the road as the drivers work their way up to the corkscrew for the first time. And it's a great start. Oh, big accident. That's Kiffin Simpson. And with him has gone Felix Rosenqvist. So 2 big accidents on the first lap. It's safety car immediately. Pace car is called here at Laguna Seca. He did indeed. So a very nasty incident there. Felix Rosenqvist is moving in the car. So that is good news, of course. But we're going to get to see a replay of what happened between the 2 of them. It's going to be 2 cars just locking together. Oh, very nasty indeed. There was indeed a little bit of airtime between the 2. But Kiffin Simpson tangling there. Let's have another look at it. Bang, there it is. It just looked like Kiffin Simpson just got a little bit too close to the left rear quarter, the right rear quarter, sorry, of Felix Rosenqvist's car. We're going to ride on board with Rosenqvist. There it is. There's the contact. Ay, ay, ay. Game over for both drivers instantly. Well, JT, a very unceremonious start then to the 95 laps here at Laguna Seca. Thank goodness they're both okay.
Yeah, absolutely as well. Quite a big accident. Rosenqvist just been attended to by the AMR safety team. Always immediately on the scene are the AMR safety team, the best in the business over there. And, well, Rosenqvist couldn't really do anything. He was hit from the rear, and that sent him into a spin on board with the Arrow McLaren of Pato O'Ward. He drops down to 3rd with Colton Herta moving up to 2nd on that one.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Felix Rosenqvist, the man who's won races in INDYCAR, Formula E, Super Formula, the Grand Prix de Pau, and the Macau Grand Prix. No win for him today at Laguna Seca, and also for Kevin Simpson. Very unfortunate for the Caymanian, who is now out of this race as well. So the man who was born in Bridgetown, Barbados, European Le Mans Series champion 2023, out of this race. And that is very unfortunate from his perspective. And so then there were only 25. And that's going to make things interesting as the competitors continue to move forward. Is that going to be... I was just going to say, there's no way that Felix Rosenqvist is going to get that started again, is it? Yes, he is. Felix Rosenqvist has kept his foot in and keeps it going. Now, what happened in the first incident? Let's have a look further back in the pack. There's the contact. That's Connor Daly going around with assistance from one of the Primers. Now, is that Schwartzman or is that going to be Callum Ilott? Looks to me like it might be Callum Ilott, actually. So, yeah, just a little bit of a brush the two drivers have there, and into the pits. It is, oh, it looks like it's Schwartzman, actually, who's come in early. So it might actually have been Robert Schwartzman involved rather than Callum Ilott.
Yeah, Schwartzman going in as well, as you mentioned. Connor Daly, who was involved in that first incident on the first lap, also in, and now returned to his pit box, the number 60 of Felix Rosenqvist.
Yeah, it's a very messy start, unfortunately, here at Laguna Seca. Felix Rosenqvist has brought his car back to the pits. They're going to try and get him back out again. So incredible work potentially incoming here from the contenders if they're able to get this moving. But they're going to have to do some work, obviously, to the front nose section because that took a bit of a battering. I'll be amazed if they can actually get this car out there and under race trim. He's obviously going to go a lap down, but certainly a very interesting situation for all of the contenders there. Good to hear some of your comments as well. Nathan Troxell saying hello. Hopefully it is going to be a very good race day for us. And yeah, as Warphammer rightly points out, the second accident was big, but incredibly, Felix Rosenqvist and the team seem to think that they can get the man from Varnamo out onto the circuit again, but he's going to go at least 2 laps down here. So, problems already then here at Laguna Seca as we go to pace car conditions, and the race lead is still held by Alex Palou. And Rosenqvist is sent back out on his way with only 1 lap completed. Everybody else is on lap 4. So he is 2 laps down. Here's a replay of what happened between, we think, Schwartzman and Connor Daly. We know for a fact it was Connor Daly, but I think it was Schwartzman who actually ended up there on the first lap rather than Callum Ilott. But we'll double check. Did Callum Ilott make it back round again? See, I can't see which of the Primers it is that's involved there at the back. It's definitely Connor Daly, as we know. But which Primer was it that skated off with him? Couldn't quite make it out from there, but both cars did continue. There's the incident between Kevin Simpson and Felix Rosenqvist. Incredibly, Rosenqvist has got it back to the pits and restarted, albeit 2 laps down. Oh, that was scary. And Kevin Simpson did actually get a tiny bit of airtime there. That could have been so much worse. So the safety teams have recovered Kevin Simpson's car, which is well and truly done for the day. No chance of Kevin Simpson recovering that. And so we get ourselves ready then for the remaining 91 laps of the Grand Prix here at Laguna Seca. And the pace car controlling Alex Palou, Colton Herter. And in third position, that is Pato Award, who's holding the field up a little bit there. But we ride on board with Colton Herter, the man who is looking for race win number 10 in his IndyCar career. Second in the IndyCar series last season, of course, son of the legendary IndyCar and Champ Car driver Brian Herter. And of course, he's been sniffing around the world of Formula One for quite a long time, although he's recently put to bed his rumours that he's going to be joining Cadillac in Formula One next year. He's basically washed those rumours down. Let's have a look at the start once again. Colton Herta was absolutely lightning out of the blocks there. Got the run on Pato Award and essentially gave Pato Award a choice. Hit me or get out of the way. Very nicely done there from Colton Herta. Neat and tidy, got the move, second place, job done. Then look in the background, and we're going to see Connor Daly tangle with, I think, Schwartzman. We're not quite, because we're not going to follow the replay through to its conclusion then. And Colton Herta remains in second place behind this year's Indy 500 winner, Alex Palou, seeking IndyCar Series title number 4. On board with Pato Award. Indy Lights champ back in 2018. 9 times the race winner himself in IndyCar. Still an incredible record that he has. 102 races and 32 times he's been on the podium. We're going to go green again this time. So Alex Palou is going to make the decision as to when he's going to bolt. I think he's done it now, so it's going to be an interesting restart. No, he's backed off again. So Alex Palou is going to wait until they come directly off the final turn. And now he'll plant the throttle. So we go back into the action as both Herta and O'Ward go wide. It's green, 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 and we're back underway in the Java House Grand Prix of Monterey. Here at Laguna Seca into turn 1. Newgarden trying to get away from power. Big dive on the inside line there. I think that was Armstrong having a look at Rasmussen into the top 10. But certainly for the moment, no major changes as power holds on from Malukas. So below, Herta, O'Ward, Newgarden, Power, Malukas, Lundgaard. Already some big problems in this race then as Rosenqvist and Simpson are out of the race. Well, Rosenqvist is 2 laps down. Simpson is out of it, as we know, as we ride on board with Colton Herta, setting off after Alex Palou. As they both run right off the road there in their bid to get up towards Corkscrew in the best possible line. O'Ward charging after Colton Herta. They drop down through the corkscrew. They've got to do that another 89 times through this race, incredibly. And still Pato O'Ward putting Colton Herta under some pressure here. As Power still finds himself in front of Malukas and Lundgaard and behind Newgarden. Palou trying to get well clear here of Colton Herta, hoping that there's going to be a little bit more pace from him as he works his way through. And on the inside line, that is Lundgaard, I think, getting ahead of Malukas. So Lundgaard has been able to make his bit. No, yeah, that is Malukas getting back on terms with Lundgaard. And then Lundgaard getting back through again. So Lundgaard and Malukas having a great little duel, and Malukas is in danger of losing this round the outside from Graham Rahal. Rahal tried to run right round the outside there, and he's going to lose the ground as a result. Rasmussen's going to get ahead of Rahal. So Rasmussen makes the move then on Graham Rahal. That was big determination from the 36-year-old. And Graham Rahal losing out as a result. Now, big dive on the inside line. That's a change for position as well, further back, just in front of Scott Dixon. Shuffling of the deck there. I think that was Ericsson on Siegel, with Scott Dixon having worked his way up into P16, I do believe. Yes, indeed. So that was a big shuffle as Alex Palou goes over the crest and dives down into the braking zone. Here's a replay. This is the move on Malukas from Graham Rahal, trying to go right round the outside. Not going to happen. He runs wide, and that'll do nicely for Rasmussen to get ahead. So now Rasmussen, having dealt with Graham Rahal, is now left to continue on the charge, as next up, it's the drop light car of Louis Foster. Louis Foster, of course, sharing a title sponsor with Catherine Legg in NASCAR this weekend. The drop light car in NASCAR still going strong at the Brickyard. And here at Laguna Seca, the drop light car of Louis Foster is the leading rookie. So Rasmussen trying to go after Malukas. But it's below Herta, O'Ward, then Newgarden, Power, Lundgaard, Malukas, Rasmussen, Rahal and Foster from McLaughlin, who's made up 2 places from his starting grid. Rinus van Kalmthout has worked his way further up as well. He's over to P12. So Rinus van Kalmthout doing a great job. Siegel made up 3 places off the start as well, so several drivers making progress. Bit of a mistake there from Malukas. This could be a chance for Christian Rasmussen. Rasmussen making his way down to the hairpin. Malukas is going to send him the long way round. Rasmussen will try his best to run right round the outside of Malukas. Not a lot of room to navigate, and Rasmussen's going to finish the move. What an overtake round the outside. Christian Rasmussen, absolutely bold as brass round the hairpin. The Danish driver getting it done around the outside of turn 1. Absolutely amazing. So plenty of opportunities in this race. JT Rasmussen pulling off the move of the race so far, but there's a lot more shuffle than I thought there would be in this early stage.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a little bit of a wheel-to-wheel contact there from Rasmussen and Malukas as they did the overtake, but as they always say, rubbing is racing. It didn't kick any of them off the circuit, so it's all legal. It didn't spin anyone out. But good to see there, Christian Rasmussen, currently 7th. He started 11th.
Yeah, so 4 places made up, and it looks like it might be 5 because he's going straight after Christian Lundgaard, the 24-year-old, his countryman from Hedenstedt. So let's see if Christian Rasmussen is going to find a way by. The Ed Carpenter Racing man going after the Arrow McLaren. Really starting to find his focus as they push on the far side of the course. Now under the bridge. Through to turn 5. Keeping it nice and planted. You've got to be so careful how much you exacerbate the tyres in this first part of the race. They'll be visiting the pit stops a couple of times over the course of this race, don't forget. As there is the view back towards Christian Rasmussen from Christian Lundgaard. Let's listen in.
Strategy there. You've got Alex.
Down the corkscrew. Looking for a bold opportunity again. And great racecraft so far from Rasmussen. He's the one on the move. Lundgaard under pressure. He's going to try and go after the Toowoomba man, Will Power. Trying to work his way down onto the main straight. Couple of opportunities still arising, still potential here. Up over the top of the crest and down towards the hairpin at 1 once again. But no worries at all. Big lockup. And that was a big mistake from the rookie Louis Foster. Doesn't want to be doing that too often, especially when you've got a very fired up bunch of drivers on your tail. Oh, big off. Who's that that's gone straight into the barriers? That is the 51 that's gone. That is Abel. So Jacob Abel, unfortunately, is out of this race, and that could trigger another safety car. He has indeed. It's triggered the pace car for the 2nd time in this race. So Jacob Abel goes straight to the scene of the accident. That's at the first corner, I do believe. So it's caution once again here at Monterey. Be fascinated to see how that one got away from him, because Jacob Abel was looking pretty strong up to that point. But certainly at the moment, that is not the way he wanted things to continue to progress. So certainly some big problems at the moment then for his opposition.
Hello, am I able just to pop in?
Of course you are, yeah, do so.
Hello.
Do come and join us, JB.
Go away.
Thank you. I wanted to pick your brain. We're currently under yellow here ourselves at the Brickyard.
Oh, right.
Have you ever, in either of your commentary careers, witnessed a tyre rim coming off the car and separating from the still connected rubber and nut?
Now, that is a new one on me. I can't recall that ever happening. That's an interesting one.
So Eric Jones has just whacked the wall, and it's literally the rim has fallen off, but everything else is still connected to the car. Suspension, lug nut, everything, even rubber.
So the rubber.
How bizarre!
Basically, the wheel is still on the car. It's just the rim that has fallen out of it, but there's still the circular rubber there.
Yes.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I have never seen it before. It's the strangest thing I've ever seen in any racing format.
That's very, very unusual, to be fair. Well, we've just had our second retirement here at Laguna Seca. We had a big incident on the first lap between Kiffin Simpson, who is out of the race, and Felix Rosenqvist, who rejoined 2 laps down. And now we've got Jacob Abel, rather sadly, having gone off at turn 1. I didn't see what happened to him, though. We're going to see it now. Oh, it's quite late in. That looks like brake failure.
Yeah. Downhill, and that part of the circuit, you often get the opportunity for lockups, but he's gone in way too deep, as you mentioned. And yeah, that was definitely brake failure. It wasn't even at the apex when he went off.
No, so big issues there, unfortunately, and that really ruins any hope of a decent result there for the rookie. Let's ride on board with him. Oh no, that's the man just behind him, and yeah, he tried to get on the brakes there. You get a big puff of smoke coming from the car, and he just went straight on. Right, it's pit stop city then. So quite a few teams have decided this is the moment to box in and take advantage of the fact that we're under pace car. Dixon's in.
I'll head back. Good luck, guys.
Thank you very much. Joshua Birch dropping in there to report from the weird shenanigans at the Brickyard 400. Yeah, it's a very new one on me as well, that one. So that's worth having a look at. I have a feeling that one's going to be on social media later on the NASCAR feed. As we shuffle the decks here, several drivers opting that this is the moment to come in and make a pit stop. We're going to see a replay. Oh, this is again, the latter view. Oh, I wonder if it's a puncture, actually. Looking at it again, JT, I wonder if the tyre just delaminated on the way down to the first corner.
Yeah, absolutely. We will have to see as we are continuing to circulate, but it bounced through the gravel trap.
I think that's a left rear puncture, you know. I think that's happened as he's gone under brakes. I don't know if that's a brake failure or if that's a puncture going at exactly the wrong moment. But yeah, very uncomfortable viewing there for Jacob Abel fans as his race is well and truly done. So looking through the order now, the top 10 remains unchanged. Everything beyond that has shuffled a bit. Scott McLaughlin now finds himself in 11th position as we are going to restart. So we're going to get back under race conditions again. This is all going to be about Colton Herter and Pato Award responding in the best way possible to Alex Pallot's restart here. Let's see what happens on this restart. Behind McLaughlin, it's Armstrong, Ericsson, Ferrucci and Rossi. But this is going to be a very strong restart as we get under starters orders again. It is green, 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 green once again here at Laguna Seca. No worries at all for the top 3. They've made it nice and calm as Power tries to close up on his teammate Joe Newgarden. And right round the outside, some brave moves going into the first hairpin as Foster is under pressure from McLaughlin. Ericsson trying to go round the outside of Marcus Armstrong, and a big dive to the inside line. A couple of drivers trying a move or two here. That's a little bit brave as Power still finds himself in front of Lundgaard and Rasmussen. We're on board with Alexander Rossi. So Rossi trying to work his way further forward. No change up at the front, though, as Colton Herter is actually in danger of losing that second place to Pato Award. The Mexican has come out of the blocks much more aggressively than Colton Herter on this occasion. So with the drivers all having made their pit stop, the ones that chose to anyway, behind the pace car, we're about to complete lap 14 as we ride on board with Alex Rossi, getting a replay of what happened earlier on. He almost made it 3 wide and then ended up going side by side and round the outside of an audacious move there on Marcus Ericsson. He had to bail out of it in the end, but great to see him give it a go under very tricky circumstances there. That could have been an absolutely spectacular overtaking move if he'd have been able to finish that one off. But on this occasion, he has to settle behind his opponents. Carl Kirkwood, 21st position, not making any major headway in this one, as Rasmussen battles with Lundgaard and McLaughlin going wheel to wheel. The McLaughlin trying to work his way into the top 10 there, battling away with battling away with Graham Rahal. So McLaughlin has got into P10 in front of Foster. Armstrong's got ahead of Foster as well. Not a great restart there for the rookie, and that's a proper washout from the man in 10th position. So a couple of headaches then already as Pallot drops it through the corkscrew once again. Award finishing in 3rd position keeps the title fight alive to Portland if he stays where he is. So you've got to keep it going. End of lap 15. Below, Herter, O'Ward, Newgarden, Bauer. Then Lundgaard versus Rasmussen. And it is still currently Christian Lundgaard, the Arrow McLaren driver, the former Alpine Junior and the Rookie of the Year in INDYCAR 2022. Still running a very smooth race here, but Alex Below, 2025 has just been flawless from Alex Below. Having already been a three-time champion, you would think that we'd seen everything we were going to see from Alex Below in his INDYCAR career. Not on your Nelly. Absolutely incredible what he's been able to achieve. So spectacular stuff as O'Ward still pushing Colton Herter big time here. Through to the left kink. Kicking it out nicely up over the crest of the rise. And as they push their way towards that very big drop at the left and right, Colton Herter bouncing his way down the drop. Really putting himself under a lot of strain here. Back up towards the main straight once again. Below, Herter, O'Ward, Newgarden, Power. And then it is Lundgaard and Rasmussen. Still swapping positions, those two. Only two retirements from this race, Kiffin Simpson and Jacob Abel. 25 drivers still running in this incredibly close race up front. In the battle for second, at least, between Herter and O'Ward. Still lots of battles, still a very close run thing at the moment. Siegel running in front of Di Francesco, I think it is. And then we've got Rennis van Kamthout is in the mix there. So is Scott Dixon and Carl Kirkwood. A long way back from where I expected both of them to be. But devastating news for Jacob Abel fans. He joins Kiffin Simpson on the sidelines, and that is the second retirement of this race. And the young man from Louisville, Kentucky, will have to trudge home along with the 20-year-old, the youngest man in the field, Kiffin Simpson. No, sorry, he's the second youngest in the field, isn't he? Because Nolan Siegel was born in November, so he's just a month younger than Kiffin Simpson. Alex Below is doing what he does best. Clear track, racetrack in front of him. See you later, alligators. And he's just disappearing away from the rest of the competitors now. Excellent display so far. Not really any problems to report. Certainly not sweating or causing himself any issues at the moment. So Alex Below just controlling the pace. 4.3 ahead of Colton Herter. Runner-up in the IndyCar Series last year, and that's round the outside. Dixon having a good battle there. I think that is... no, bear with me. That might well be the change for position further back. That's Rasmussen battling away there with, I think, Malukas, actually thinking about it.
Lundgaard, I do believe.
Oh, it is, no, Lundgaard. My apologies. So Lundgaard and Rasmussen having that battle, and finally, Christian Lundgaard has been able to shake off Rasmussen again. But giving chase to them, that is the black machine of David Malukas. So there's still a lot of pressure on the shoulders here on board. Out of the corkscrew. Really physical race circuit, this one. It is one of the toughest in the calendar. And seriously, if the Formula One drivers think they've got it bad, they should try and race around this place flat on the throttle. But so far, so good. The Java House Grand Prix of Monterey is on its 19th lap, and we've got Below from Herter and O'Ward, who are still only half a second apart. Then Newgarden, Power. Then a tiny back gap to Lundgaard ahead of Rasmussen. And then it is Malukas ahead of Rahal, McLaughlin, Armstrong, Foster, Ferrucci, Ericsson, and Nolan Siegel. A lot of opportunities there for the drivers to move their way further forward. But it's definitely not done and dusted yet. Still so much needs to play out before we settle some scores. Here's Scott McLaughlin. McLaughlin trying to get further into the top 10. His next target is Graham Rahal. but the 3-time Supercars champion of Australia and the Bathurst 1000 winner 6 years ago, Scott McLaughlin, really starting to put pressure on the man in front of him on the race circuit here. Big scenes, 20 laps completed at the end of this one out of the 95 we have to run. And so far, so good for Alex Palou, who's pulled 6 seconds clear of Colton Herter. And that's even before their first scheduled stop. So what's going to be really entertaining now is those drivers that made pit stops under the very first pace car period. Are you going to be rewarded rightly or wrongly? Certainly the battle going on in front of McLaughlin is pretty heated as they swap positions again. That's Malukas managing to hold on to the position there as the duel is getting pretty feisty indeed. Malukas, I think that's going to be good enough for 8th place in front of Graham Rahal. Then McLaughlin, who's in pressure himself, are being caught here by Marcus Armstrong. So there's plenty of incentive to keep pushing the limits and keep trying to find that little bit of extra pace in the car. 21 laps into this race. Still, Rasmussen versus Thungaard hasn't really changed much between those two feisty Scandinavians. And now we're waiting to see if McLaughlin has a little bit of a killer move up his sleeve. He always seems to produce them at exactly the right moments. But yes, it's currently Palou, Herter, O'Ward, Newgarden, Power and Rasmussen as Dixon is having to fend off from Rinus van Kamphout. So Rinus VK, as the Americans call him. Still doing a fantastic job at the moment. VK not close enough yet to the rear wing of Scott Dixon to really make a big push. Dixon not feeling any ill extremities or anything like that just yet. Focusing on the job in hand. The mark of a true champion. And so Scott Dixon, having worked his way through 4 places into the pits, directly in front of him, that was Devlin De Francesco, and that's David Malukas. He's pitted as well. So several drivers deciding, do you know what? This is the moment. This is when we're going to make our pit stop. So a few drivers will be out of position initially, but they will return to them as Christian Lundgaard made a pit stop. We didn't notice that. Christian Lundgaard has dropped back, having made his first pit stop a lap ago. So that certainly helps everybody out here. JT.
Am I correct in saying it's like 3 a.m. for you?
It is indeed. It is 3 o'clock in the morning here in Thailand. Trust me, as soon as Joshua Birch arrives, ready to fill the breach after Brickyard, I may let him finish it. But it's been great to start my first IndyCar race practically solo for JB. I did manage to take a race earlier on this year with Omi. As into the pits comes the XPEL car. So that is a big opportunity now for Scott McLaughlin. He wants to jump a few. And also down pit lane comes Graham Rahal. Still seeking the form of his first season all the way back in 2008. The first year of the unification. Won on his debut, of course, at St. Petersburg, and has only won 5 races since then in the last 17 years of IndyCar racing. But of course, a man who's got big shoes to fill, following in the footsteps of Bobby, the former IndyCar champion, just before Nigel Mansell won his title. Bobby Rahal got the job done in 1992. Malukas trying to run right round the outside of Scott McLaughlin. Go on then, let's see what you've got. Can you take me on in a fair fight? I'll give you a little bit of space. I won't give you any more than I actually have to. But let's see what can be done. And it is fascinating how much can be done. Up the hill goes Malukas. Up the hill goes Scott McLaughlin. Is into the pit lane comes the number 5. So Pato O'Ward comes into the pit lane from what was P3 behind Colton Herta in the hope that he can use this pit stop to jump him. Onto the Reds. And similar timing for the pit stop as well there from the 14. That is going to be Santino Ferrucci, the young man from Woodbury in Connecticut. Down pit lane they go. They're clearly not quite so fussy about the pit lane speed exit line in INDYCAR as they are in F1, because if they were, then that would certainly be a penalty going the way of a driver or two in this conflagration. Pato O'Ward has rejoined, and he's rejoined right in front of Robert Schwartzman, the rookie driver in the Prima. So Pato O'Ward now needs to knuckle down and get on with this, see how much time he can gain over Colton Herta. That's his first big obstacle. So a nice little reverse run. But it's Below who leads the way. Herta second, Newgarden, then Power, Rasmussen, Armstrong. Armstrong pits. So Armstrong's coming down pit road here from P6. That's going to hand that over to Siegel. Then it'll be Dixon, Van Kamphout, and Kyle Kirkwood, who gets into the top 10 for the first time this race. And that is, of course, because of a pit stop rotation. Back out on the circuit goes Marcus Armstrong, the New Zealander, born in Christchurch, rather popular venue for race drivers. Ironically enough, that's also where Scott McLaughlin comes from, and that's a big off. So that's going to be a third pace car. It's Rinus van Kamphout. So VK has gone. Rinus van Kamphout is going to bring about the race's third pace car. So it's going to be another caution period, and the team are getting ready at Chip Ganassi for Alex Palou. This is perfect timing for Palou to take the pit stop, because there is a good chance we're going to have a pace car out on the course for a caution period. So the team changes from reds to blacks, as into the pits also comes Colton Herta. It's a big opportunity.
Somehow we're still green.
Yeah, we are still green. That's a good point. So I don't quite understand why Van Kamphout's moment hasn't brought us to a pace car, but into the pits in anticipation also comes Will Power with that retro vintage Jimmy Vasser, Alex Zanardi style livery on his car. And as a result of the shuffle of the deck, it is now Nolan Siegel that takes over the lead of this race. There is the dust still having been kicked up from Rinus van Kamphout's car. You can just about make it in the foreground. There he is in the background, and we still haven't gone to full course yellows. So fascinating situation here.
It is.
Colton Herta. There is the caution. Well, it took them long enough to make their mind up as to whether they were going to do it, but there is Rinus van Kamphout's stranded car. So obviously it's now going to be a pretty tricky moment for the rest of the drivers as they tighten themselves up. You've got to feel sorry for Nolan Siegel now, because he's missed his chance to get a decent undercut in the pits. Dixon, Kirkwood, Ilott, they're all going to be dropping towards the back now as courtesy of the pace car, because when they have their pit stop, they are going to be under green flag conditions, and so it's going to be pretty devastating for Nolan Siegel. Alex Palou, meanwhile, knows exactly what the score is, and second position is a very respectable position for Alex Palou to currently be in.
Took them a while, actually, to... Is this a replay? Did he get hit off?
There was a slight nudge of the end play. Oh, he did get nerfed. That was a proper nudge. That was Brisker Formula 1 grade.
Yes, it was.
That was
definitely.
that was a very roughhouse move. Very roughhouse move there. As we rode back on board with the Gamebridge colours, that is Colton Herta, obviously.
Yeah. It took them a while to activate the main caution graphics, because they've got the main caution graphics which you can see now, but to the right of the lap counter, they have that little marker, that little triangle marker, that went yellow a good 5 seconds before they had the full caution down the timing screen. Here's a story for you, Jake Sanson. Let me get it up.
Yep.
It is Brisker related, but Heritage F2s.
Oh, very nice.
Hopefully. Oh. As the graphics go to the screen of death.
So we're under caution here at the Java House Grand Prix of Monterey. For those who have been following since the start, it's been very much one-way traffic for Alex Palou, who's just come into the pits and drops to second place behind Nolan Siegel for the Arrow McLaren team. The man who replaced Teo Pourchaire at that outfit, of course, as well as the man who took victory in last year's LMP2 category of the Le Mans 24 Hours. So he's a very highly rated young man, is Nolan Siegel, the youngest man in the field. Just 20 years of age, from Palo Alto in California. So not too far away from this place, obviously. So Nolan Siegel's not going to want to concede the lead anytime soon, is he? Really going to struggle to do that. So this is the replay of the incident that saw Van Kampfel get nudged into big time. That was a big hit. So very close quarters running indeed there, as unfortunately it all goes wrong for Kyle Kirkwood, who hits the absolutely blameless Rinus Van Kampfel.
I was going to go into story time, but we're going green, so it'll have to wait.
Yeah, we're getting quite a late call to go green here, actually, I have to say. As the pace car was not that far in front of them at that stage. But we come straight off the turn, and a big tank snapper from Nolan Siegel, who's going to have big pressure from Alex Palou down to turn one as we go green, 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 green once again. So the Grand Prix of Monterey is back on, and Nolan Siegel feeling the pressure of leading this race ahead of Alex Palou. As on the inside, that's Pato O'Ward going wheel to wheel with his teammate Christian Lundgaard. Lundgaard's trying to keep his foot in round the far side, and he does so. So Pato O'Ward has got to have another attempt. Meanwhile, Alex Palou all over the back of Nolan Siegel. Dixon third, Kirkwood fourth. A little kick of the dust as the drivers are really starting to find their edge, or at least they need to in these conditions. But Nolan Siegel has not been here as many times as Alex Palou has. So Alex Palou definitely taking full advantage of a car that is full of get up and go this weekend. Down out of the corkscrew. And still, Siegel has a good advantage over Alex Palou. On board with Dixon, as Dixon now pushes his way further forward to go after Alex Palou. Alex Palou, of course, made the pit stop to change tyres. Scott Dixon did not, hence why the New Zealander, the Iceman, is up to third position. But Nolan Siegel, finding life fun, leading the race, so it definitely sorts the wheat from the chaff here. So still working our way back into a decent rhythm again. We'll spread out just a little bit because it isn't that long before our first safety car period goes out. Still pushing on the way up to the corkscrew. Get that right, nail it through the inside apex. So hard to get that right. And there is Callum Eilert, the man in fourth position in the Prema, still not pitting. keeping himself to himself there in P4. So looks as though we're going to continue this charge down into turn 1 as Alex Below closes in on Nolan Siegel. Alex Below, Scott Dixon and Callum Eilert giving chase. Here comes the move again from Pato Award on the back of the next man in. That is Christian Lundgaard. So they're having a really tough race of it at this moment in time.
It is.
As it's Rossi.
Cole Kirkwood, the number 27.
Oh, my apologies. No, yes, sorry. Alexander Rossi is now running on the 20, isn't he? Not the 27. But yes, you're right. It is Carl Kirkwood. Down the drop again. Big pressure on Nolan Siegel's shoulders, but the 20-year-old is coping with it fairly admirably at the moment. From Palo Alto in California, having a very strong race of it here in front of Alex Below. I'm not saying he doesn't need to pit in again, which he does, by the way. But it's all down to the mathematics as well as the technical. Let's see how much more. Now we're going to get to see if Alex Below can really put pressure on Siegel. Doxson could just keep himself smooth. That's the way that Dixon gets himself back into a race-winning position. He's smooth on the brakes. He's smooth on the turn-in, smooth with every single section. And you have to have that. You know, people quest for the feeling of the eyes on the back of their head when they've got goosebumps. It's kind of similar when you've got so many resources and you expect it of a top flight team, but in reality it doesn't work like that. That's Stingray Rob behind us. So we are currently sat down towards the bottom of the field. Listening in. This is good work from Nolan Siegel. A lot of pressure on his shoulders to give up. And so Below trying to stay within 0.8 of a second before I activate the fuel flap. So tiptoe their way through that first hairpin, just making sure the car can still operate. Nolan Siegel driving a beautifully judged race at the moment. Really enjoying his time, and up the inside of one of the Primers. So that is a big lunge further back in the pack. I have a feeling that is, I want to say that's Ericsson making his way further forward, but it didn't look like it. I think that's been... Again. Where the competitors go. Onto the far side of the course, and we really are settling in for a neat little rhythm as everybody drops through the corkscrew. Comparatively simple looking from the outside, but inside, let me tell you, it's one of the toughest challenges in World Motorsport, because as you go over the drop, that's the first time you see most of the Friends soundtrack. Back on board with Alex Rossi. Lap 34 of 95. We're at the 1/3 distance. Dive to the inside line. A little bit forceful, but it gets the job done on Connor Daly.
Kicks up the
so
dust
Rossi
a bit
in front of Daly. He does, yeah. He probably kicks it up there, JT. And that's going to be the problem moving forward for the next hour or so. The second you run wide, the second you bring certain marbles and, you know, tire rubber, all of those sort of pickups all in one go. He's got to be so careful here.
Yeah, absolutely as well. The only thing that this is Laguna Seca with the track is curb, white lines, dust. As continuing around the circuit we go.
Hello, guys.
Hello, Omi.
Hello. How's this IndyCar race going then, everybody?
It's looking
lap
pretty
35
tight at
of
the moment.
95.
Lap 35 of 95. Alex Palou was leading until the last rotation of pit stops. He and most of the field decided to go with them. The only three really significant names that didn't go to the top of the historic run there is obviously going to be Nolan Siegel. He's got a bit of pressure from the from last year, as well as a good opportunity for Max Verstappen to showcase incredible speed around this course. He's talked about racing at Laguna Seca in the past. Well, this is what you do when you're under pressure. Nolan Siegel definitely getting a little bit of pressure here from Alex Palou. Palou, of course, with a very slim chance of winning the title today, but it's looking more likely that he's going to have to wait for Portland to get the job done. But Siegel didn't pit. Palou is staying out, having pitted just previously. So now this is going to be Palou all over Nolan Siegel. Down to the first hairpin once again. Dixon still there in third from Eilert, Herter, Lundgaard and O'Ward. So it's very difficult to predict how this is going to play out now. There are so many variables, that's the thing. So Palou looking this way, looking that way. Got to keep that car as wide as possible. We're still looking for that ultimate maneuver, that ultimate really big line maneuver that's going to transform the second and final part of this race. On board now with the Aaron McLaren team. There's still plenty. That corkscrew is such a menacing drop, isn't it? Siegel still holding on to the lead in front of Alex Palou. There's a lot more to this than meets the eye. There's a lot more going on.
Yeah. In an IndyCar race, there's quite a lot for these drivers to try and navigate their way through. We've seen it across this entire season, especially for a driver like Alex Palou as well, who's had to do a lot from the front. But I mean, he may be dominating a lot of times, but he's just been able to do it, and he's had a lot of work to do, along with the team who set it all up, and now he's trying to go for the lead.
Oh, he's got it right round the outside, and Alex Palou pulling off an amazing overtaking move on Nolan Siegel to get back to the front here at the Grand Prix of Monterey. Absolutely perfect stuff. Herter still P4 and O'Ward P7, don't forget, with Siegel, Dixon and Eilert all out of sequence. The man on the move here really is Lundgaard, doing a fantastic job. But as we approach the halfway point, Omi, I'm getting close to burnout here. I may have to just pass the baton over to you to pick up the slack and go for the next continuation of this race.
That's absolutely fine. I know you've done a lot for us this week, and we've had quite a lot going on, and you've been incredibly helpful across all of the series.
I'll wrap it up by pointing out Alex Palou's amazing move here on Nolan Siegel, which is the cue for Siegel to make his way into the pits. It was a good run while it lasted in the lead, but the inevitable has happened. He's handed it over to Alex Palou in the lead, and he's made a pit stop. All yours, Omi. Bring it home.
Thank you very much, Jake Sanson. And it has been an absolute pleasure having you across all of the series this weekend, and we look forward to having you back.
I shall return with a little bit more energy.
Brilliant. Okay, well, we continue this NTT IndyCar race then, here in Laguna Seca, round number 14 of the season. And Jake Sanson was mentioning to you as well about the possibility of a champion being crowned as well. It has been a very, very good race so far. Quite a bit of chaos as well when it's come to cautions. So looking forward to seeing whether we're going to be able to stay caution-free as we continue this duration of the race as well. And right now, Alex Palou just doing his absolute best at the moment to now just try pull away. He's got the lead, and his goal will just be to try and continue to pull the gap. And let's see whether he's going to be able to do it. Well, this NTT IndyCar season, well, we've had Kirkwood be a contender a few times. We've also, of course, found ourselves with Alex Palou, and then O'Ward has also been a contender a few times.
Yeah, absolutely, as well as we continue to circulate as Omi just resets as Herta gets the move done on Dixon. Herta up to second. Now it's Palo. Herta, Dixon, your top 3. Lundgaard, Isla, O'Ward, Newgard and Rasmussen, Power. McLaughlin, your top 10.
Yep, that is the order switching about then. So, Palo was able to get ahead. Now it's Herta in second place and Dixon in third position at the moment when it comes to push to pass as well. It has been quite interesting so far. 129 remaining for Alex Palou, but you know sometimes it's going to be quite interesting as we make our way through, and that is going to be Lundgaard up the inside of Dixon and into third position and overtakes around Laguna Seca. Do not get better than that. We've seen some incredible passes over the years and we've seen some incredible moments, and that one will be added to the show reel 100% as we are going to see Dixon come into the pit lane, of course, bogging down at the moment in time. And now we will make our way onto another lap. Lap number 40 out of 95 here in the NTT IndyCar series at the moment as we continue to review everything we have seen so far around this circuit. The tyre change currently taking place for Scott Dixon at the moment as he will be pushed back into the fast lane and he'll go back on the charge then onto this circuit as well. It is Palou, then Herta, then Lundgaard. Calamaro is in fourth place, and then it's Pato Award, the driver with quite a lot of momentum, running in P5 at the moment. It's Newgarden in sixth, and then you've got Christian Rasmussen in seventh position. As we see the tyres now being warmed up, the phase that the drivers have to go through when they find themselves coming back out onto the circuit. As we take a look at some of the racing going on, Award on the back right now of the Prima of Calamilo, who has found himself in the wall a couple of times this season, wants to avoid that, of course, here today. Most likely you're to end up in the gravel around this circuit, but sometimes if it is if there is a lot of closing speed, you can find yourself all the way to the wall. Okay, Olo comes into the pit lane, and Award now has a free road ahead of him at the moment as he moves on by, as we have an entire train navigating their way down towards this first turn. If you are synced up with us at the moment in time, it is currently Colton Hurt who's been pushing on lately as well, I've noticed, according to our timing information that we've got up here in the commentary box as well. And JT, well, it's been quite the race so far here at Laguna Seca, and we're now just looking to reflect and see what else is going to change, what else can happen, but cautions can completely change anything.
Here today, and well, Palou has once again, as Sanson said earlier on, as soon as Palou gets out, it's see you later, and he is already 5 seconds down the road. He's gained on Herta, who, well, he became a little bit of a bowling ball earlier on to Venus 3K. Well, as it was a proper brisk F1 stock car move, as that's a reference that only me and Sanson would get, which is probably why it was mentioned on a broadcast of just me and Sanson. Anyway, across the line we go. Joseph Newgarden completes another lap. Armstrong is up to 10th, Fucci up to 11th, Ericsson up to 12th. Is Malukas in the number 4 car pits?
He does indeed. A bit of switching coming in there. Power and McLaughlin going for it. They're the drivers in 7th and 8th position at the moment as well. But Alex Palou, who's found himself on the top step so many times this season, of course, the opening 2 rounds, then it was a second place, and then it was a run of 3 leading up to the Indy 500. It was a brilliant bit of momentum that he was able to catch, and then Detroit, when he found the wall, it was really the only moment where a season was properly in doubt. And then in Toronto last time as well, with a 12th position there. So it's been quite interesting. It's been quite the season for Palou, but it's not been absolutely perfect. It's not been absolutely perfect. It is absolutely fair to say, of course, I was covering a race earlier this season where Dixon was able to take the win on the final stages of this championship when Alex Palou made a mistake. So mistakes are absolutely possible, and even if you do have a dominant man in this category, there is still stuff that can absolutely happen, and we've been seeing cars slide across this entire weekend so far, all the way from when we had our practice session to start off on Friday. It has been an absolutely crazy weekend so far, as we see Will Power in 7th. Now moving up, there's a bit of debating going on for that position as well. So quite a few changes coming in, which is really, really great to see. Of course, INDYCAR, one of the great things about this championship is that you are going to get constant passing and constant overtaking. And Will Buxton, as we have a bit of gravel being kicked up as well, so some of the drivers possibly running a little bit wide, kicking up that gravel as Francesco's in the pit lane. But Will Buxton, of course, who's made the switch over from Formula 1, has had to basically adapt, he mentioned, to INDYCAR, and how anytime you see an overtake in F1, it's quite major because you don't have many of them. But here in INDYCAR, he said he's had to switch quite a bit due to the amount of overtakes he gets, so you don't have to shout about every single one of them. He was mentioning as well, as he gets going with his first season of a championship. He absolutely adores as well, and it's been great to see him make that switch over at the moment in time as we bring it down to the final few corners. And it's Power who will be under pressure from McLaughlin. That is 7th, and that is 8th position. Scott McLaughlin, a driver who's been in the walls a few times so far this season. Not been absolutely perfect, but he's definitely had quite a few, he's had definitely signs of brilliance across this year. It is absolutely fair to say, and McLaughlin just one of those drivers who can sometimes pull it out. And I was quite impressed. I was quite impressed as well 2 weeks ago with him in Iowa when he was just able to find the momentum, was Scott McLaughlin, and be able to contend. And it was quite unfortunate that he wasn't able to get there in the final stages, but he absolutely pushed on, did Scott McLaughlin, the pace he had, and it was so disappointing to not see that result actually translate. He found himself being given a penalty, he dropped down, he had a badly timed pit stop as well, so it all happened for McLaughlin over the last few weeks. Of course, the month of July having quite a lot of races in INDYCAR, as well as Power all out of shape, and there could have been a run possibly there for McLaughlin as we cut over to our race leader, making his way through turn 1, but definitely McLaughlin was closing in into the pit lane. We go with Pato Award, the driver who was in 4th position. We've also got Rahul coming in as well, so you've got quite a few pit stops coming into play now as the drivers continue to come in. So it's Award and it's Rahul in, and we're going to see their pit time as they get ready to go back into the fast lane, and the team's doing the tidiest job possible. And then it's back on the attack as you rejoin this circuit with their rivals absolutely blasting past at the moment in time. And you head down to this turn number 1 where the pit entry, well, you leave on the exit and you rejoin the road. And then you could have some drivers coming quickly, attacking quickly, and that is going to be the Prima of Callum Ilott, who's directly behind Pato Award at the moment. So these two, if you remember correctly, were battling earlier on, and now they are together on this racetrack once again. So Ilott now has those tyres warmed up. That is the phase that Pato Award will be going through at the moment. He'll be trying to get the tyres up to temperature as Ilott looks to attack. And you can see that the Prima car, if you are synced up with us, is glued to the back, trying to get the momentum at this moment in time. And you always get the closing speed quite high into the braking zone. You go through the corkscrew, and corkscrew, well, every time they go through, it's absolutely brilliant to watch and see. Into the pit lane we go with Lundgaard. Then it's Award all out of shape. Ilott with a little look on the outside there. And now he'll be trying to set this one up all the while. Say hello to David Malukas, who is also going to be entering this fight in a few moments' time. So Ward running all over the curb there, and now it's going to be fascinating to see whether there's going to be a chance for Callum Ilott, the British driver, a contender in the Formula 2 Championship in 2020, who is chasing down a Ward who didn't really have to go on the defensive. He could place it in the middle, and it was all okay. He did not come under threat from Callum Ilott at that moment in time. Award was just able to keep that position, but it's not always been the case across this entire circuit. So now Award's tyres will be completely up to temperature, and Callum Ilott will now use this opportunity to try and still pound, because it will still be, while they are up to temperature, they will still be getting better and better and better with every meter that we run around this circuit. And now Callum Ilott will bring his way down through this corkscrew once again. Really use the opportunity to try and close in and see whether you can get just that bit closer at the end of the lap to give yourself a good opportunity come the final stages. A bit of a wiggle there for Award, and Ilott now tucked up directly in behind. We were here last time, last lap. It's going to be the repeat once again. Lucas just there, waiting to pick up the pieces, waiting to pick up the scraps of any battles that may take place. But if he does notice that Ilot's not overtaking, he may just have to go for his own overtake as well in a few moments' time. So that'll be interesting to see. We've had Seagull, who came into the pit lane. He's just rejoined as well. And he's just ahead of a Ward at the moment. You've got McLaughlin, who's rejoined behind Malukas. The McLaughlin will also be closing in on this battle as Malukas runs slightly wide and just puts the gravel up in the air momentarily. The dust coming off momentarily there in the background as they were navigating their way through the opening couple of corners on this circuit. Ward just trying to break clear at the moment is Pato Ward, who of course finds himself second place in this championship after recent results that Pato Ward has had. It was a season which had only been won by Hello and also Kirkwood, but it's all changed around. Award momentarily going slightly wide, and he just had to cut across, go back to the racing line, and Arlott closes in once more as we exit through this final corner. But a great interesting fight this is, where it is not a simple overtake on the line. So when this overtake does eventually happen, if it does happen, then it will definitely be a big one for the Italian squad of Prima Racing as they look to try and set this one up. But yeah, as I was mentioning with Hello, he was able to join that group. He was able to join that group, which is always incredible to have another driver finding their way to the top step of the podium. He's been able to do that twice, and he's of course our most recent race winner in the NTT INDYCAR series. Right, let's take a look at a replay. Award had to be on the defensive, and the reason why was he was dipping 2 tires into the gravel, and then Ilott though left that one still for Award to keep at the moment, so he wasn't able to pick up the pieces. That is why you have to be tucked up behind your racing rival, because if you can't do it, then you could leave yourself vulnerable for that sort of moment. It's not the only battle going on. They're also battling further up ahead, so you've got quite a lot going on in this race. So reminding you of your order as it stands on lap number 49 of the contest. It is Hello, then it's Herta, Newgarden, Rasmussen, and Power. That is your top 5 at the moment as we come across the line and blast down this start-finish race. Santina Ferrucci is in the pit lane as well. So Ferrucci momentarily coming in to the pit lane, and he will be rejoining the circuit in a few moments' time. But Hello's got a 4.9 second advantage. We haven't talked about the top 2 for a little bit until I read out the order. So they have maintained order. They are still running at the same distance between those 2 drivers. So it's getting quite interesting at the moment with those 2 contenders. But once again, it's a situation for Hello. Any mistake would be punished. Any mistake would be punished. So you have to definitely keep full focus in the remaining stages of this race, and you cannot let a moment get to you, or you can leave yourself in a bit of a hard task trying to recover when it comes to the final stages. Prima Racing right now, we've got a driver running in 14th, we've got a driver running in 20th, you've got Ilott, who's the higher one of the Primas at the moment. We've been talking about this battle that currently goes on as Award now looks to close in onto the back of Stiegel. That battle won't be talked about for too long, because we're going to create a whole new battle for you as we get up to some traffic as well, as they all will be battling in a few moments' time. So the next few laps could be getting quite tasty out there on the circuit. I'm just happy we're not getting to the 2023 territory, where it was absolute chaos to end the IndyCar season that day. But we've still got plenty of opportunities for the different drivers remaining. But it looks like the title will still go on to Portland. It will still be fought in Portland. So everything is okay at the moment in that win. We don't look to be crowning a champion today. As Jake Sanson mentioned at the start of the broadcast, there was only the slim chance that it could possibly go Pelo's way. Doesn't look like it at the moment in time as well, as we find ourselves making our way into the pit lane with Newgarden then. So Joseph Newgarden comes into the pit lane. The change of tyres take place for him, and then he'll be released back into the fast lane once they've done with the fueling. And there we go. It is going to be put to the floor once again, and then you'll respect the speed limit and wait to get back out there on this circuit as we make our way through all of the drivers scattered all over the place at the moment in terms of the running order between them all as well. You've got Palou, then you've got Herta as he goes through the corkscrew. We've got Newgarden rejoining. He was up against Pilot, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Okay, here we go then. Into the pit lane we go with Alex Palou. So Palou comes in to make a pit stop in this contest then, and he is going to be awaited by his team. We've also got Herta coming in at the same time. But here we go. Palou and Herta, top two in the race, in the pit lane now for the change of tyres. And then, of course, you've got the fuel going on the back as well. And then it's foot to the floor once again. You've got Herta in there. Palou will be able to rejoin ahead still because, of course, he had the buffer. He had the critical buffer. And now Herta also can release the throttle and put himself foot to the floor as we rejoin back onto this circuit. And it is going to be Will Power who will now take over the lead of this race at the moment. Palou will be rejoining the road in second place, and then it'll be Herta who will be further back, but the gap is, as he rejoins, 5 seconds, and it's still going up as well. Rasmussen's made his pit stop. So Christian Rasmussen has had a pit stop, and he has come in to the pit lane as well. So that's the pit stop coming in as we look from the back of Will Power. If you are synced up with us at the moment with Alex Palou, who will be trying to give him some chase at the moment as we are about to throw it down to the corkscrew. An incredible complex on this circuit where it is always getting closer and closer. Sometimes drivers are so close to making some overtakes, but it has ended in tears over the years as we see Alex Palou now just 5 the tyres in. Remember, Alex Palou is a complete driver as he will now see the road opened up for him as Power comes into the pit lane, but he is a complete driver right now at the moment. And Lundgaard there getting through on Herta, so that was a move coming into the final corner on the circuit, and it means that Herta drops down to what is now P3. Lundgaard is in second place, and an interesting switch comes in at the final corner on this racetrack. As I was mentioning with Palou, he's a driver who knows exactly what to do, and there's a reason why he's been so dominant. He is basically the master of everything. Even short ovals this year, Alex Palou has absolutely nailed as the Spanish driver, and he's been doing his absolute best across every single round, which of course, as we mentioned, has had errors, but those errors have been minimized, and it's quite rare that you're going to have a full IndyCar season without having some form of trouble, because the whole field is so competitive. You've got constant cautions, you've got constant hurdles being thrown your way, won't always be going your way as well. So sometimes just minimizing those bad results, and that can get you to a championship, whether it be a dominant championship like this, or whether it be a close championship like Formula 2 have this year as well, with the top 5 being separated by only 12 points heading into the final stint of their season as well. Loads of drivers come over, of course, from the Formula 2 Championship, and Alex Palou himself, even though he did only a few rounds, was a part of it. He was racing in that championship quite a few years ago now, a contender when it came to 2018, and Lundgaard more recently in the years of 2020 and 2021, but all eyes right now are on this circuit. All eyes are on the overtaking that we are getting. Some great wheel-to-wheel action as they navigate their way by. So this is McLaughlin, who was fighting a way through and getting past Marcus Armstrong, who drops down a position. So Armstrong drops down, up goes McLaughlin. We mentioned that they would be scrapping away and fighting away at this stage, and that's exactly what is happening as McLaughlin navigates his way by a driver who has had a best result so far of third as Scott McLaughlin. Boy, would he love to upgrade that, but it doesn't look like one of those days where he can upgrade that, unfortunately, for him. As I mentioned, he's had quite the up and down season. For a driver like McLaughlin to be all the way down in 13th in the standings, it just tells you how this season has been. It's been a roller coaster for absolutely everyone across the field. They are navigating this final sector now in a few moments' time as we look to try to see who can make some overtakes, who can fight away by as we go out of the final corner. You know how this one works then, as we throw it towards the first turn, and it's going to be Armstrong thinking about the move to the inside line. That's late on the break, but that is going to be deep. That is going to be deep, and you are going to see Newgarden seeing that one coming and retaking the place. Armstrong, though, fights back immediately and reinstates himself to the position. Super fighting between Newgarden and Armstrong, both of them going for it, and it was pass and repass and repass again, and it now means that Newgarden is having to look in his mirrors as Armstrong tries to now use this opportunity to pull away. Came down the inside, but didn't stay there long, did he? Did the driver of Marcus Armstrong. As we arrive down to the corkscrew, the whole field is bunched up together. The lines can be quite interesting as they try and close in on one another at the moment. It's been quite the chaotic race in the first stage of it, and this is definitely going to be one that Armstrong will want to add to the highlights reel. He got it done into one, went out wide. Newgarden saw that one coming and said, "Thank you very much, I'll take the place back." Then no, it wasn't sitting in behind, instead it was a dive bomb straight back, a couple of meters on from that point. Yeah, he was never going to get that one slowed down, was he? Into the first turn, but then he was definitely going to get it slowed down a few meters on. Superb, superb stuff. And I mean, I mentioned loads of drivers come from Formula 2. Dive bombing like that is a trait you have to do a lot, not just in Formula 2, but Formula 3, Record, GB3, whichever series you arrive from in the lower formulas. And that's exactly what Armstrong was navigating. Marcus Armstrong able to take a couple of F2 wins as well. He absolutely knows how it is like to compete at a high level, and it gets higher and higher. Drivers assess whether an opportunity is there to get to Formula 1. If not, you look to Formula E, you look to INDYCAR, you look to sports cars. World Endurance Championship, another really popular spot for drivers to go, but that's the great thing, there's so many careers and options for these motorsport talent. Sometimes don't always get given the opportunity. Right. Let's look back to the pit lane phase of Pelot, of Herta. The Herta was getting a tires change. It was all action, but they tried to make sure it was quick. Down there at the moment. We don't get to see our race winner a lot, so we're just getting the sights of him at the moment. We're just making sure we give him enough camera time, Alex Pelot. Because, you know, he likes just leading off the start, bit of IndyCar chaos, you'll see him on a caution restart, and then it will be all eyes at the end to Alex Pelot, coming across the line to take another victory in the NTT IndyCar series as well. Lundgaard is in second place, and then it's Herta in third. That's your order at the moment. Then it's Dixon, Award. If you are interested in the Award and I-Lot fight, by the way, I'm just looking at the moment, it's separated by a few tenths of a second, so it is still close between 5th and 6th at the moment. And also, you can see that Malukas is just about a second away as well. Quite fascinating stuff there. Meanwhile, we are getting through lap traffic, of course. No blue flags in the NTT IndyCar series, so no one's obliged to get out of the way. It is a choice whether you want to do so. So traffic can get in the way, and Herta wants that because he wants to go and chase down Lundgaard, rather. That's a new name created, everybody.
It's not like Alex Pelot has had so much screen time this year already, is it?
Yeah. Just making sure we gave him some. Okay, right. Back to Herta and Lundgaard, as well, as we come out of this final corner.
Here is Herta Gruden.
Yeah, more names, okay. We're creating more names apparently now in this race. I think Lundgaarden is enough, but yeah, okay, we'll call him Lundgaard. We'll go back to Christian Lundgaard.
I'm going to say this and talk back.
Yeah, I know. The viewers don't know what just happened, but yeah, Malukas is in the pit lane, that's what's happened. At the moment as well, but yeah, to be fair, considering I'm filling in for JB as well, Probably it's, you know, something. Well, I've given away what I was told on Talkback, but, you know, I'll let the viewers fix the puzzle together about that one. Yeah, could be some other people as well. Maybe not a certain someone as well. Okay, right. Let's make our way through this final corner. Oh, we're going back to Alex Pello. They really want to show us Alex Pello, don't we? At the moment, they really want to give us a bit of sights of Alex Pello. And back to second. What? What?
Since the race start, Dixon plus 15 places, Ilott plus 18.
Remarkable. I know, right? Absolutely wild stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Stream don't have any idea. That's what we love about Talkback as well. Well, in some cases, what we love about Talkback, not always the case as well. As we're just gonna have to put it back to battle screen for a moment, JT, as I just rejoined because my pictures have gone again, and rejoining is a great tool to try and fix them. We make our way still.
Oh, hello. That was quick.
Quicker than last time. Quicker than last time. But yeah, I've learned the pace that this race is going at in terms of Pello right now. So I just have to run that. I know, right? I'm basically getting bullied by the producer at the moment. But anything's better than JB though. It's fine. Anything is better than him. At least I'm not visibly seeing any any signs or anything towards me as well, or any actions or anything. We're okay for the moment. Okay. We've got Herta making his way through directly on the back of Lundgaard and giving chase. This is going to be a great battle for second place in these final stages. It is going to be game on between Lundgaard and Herta. And oh yeah, I might just need to turn my camera on as well. Might be a good idea. There you go. Okay, there we go. We are on camera now, as I just joined and just started absolutely waffling again, without turning my camera on, which was a very good idea. I'm getting shouted by the producer to turn my camera on as well, which needs to happen for you guys to be able to go back to this glorious screen with all of this information, and then me in the middle, trying to talk you through some.
Oh, it's that guy again. Battle screen.
Yeah, it is. It is that guy again. Okay, we're going back to battle screen for a moment. Oh, you're back to me again. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant stuff. You're getting all of the scenes. You're getting the battle screen, and then you're also getting this main screen as well. But it might be a good idea if you're not having to see me walk every second as well. Right. Anyway, going back to this race, because there is a bit of a motor race going on. Last time I checked, but it's a motor race which is slightly calm. Lundgaard in second place. We've got Herta in third position. And, well, the cars are all action across this circuit. They are twitching around. They are all wiggly through every corner. So, you know, actually, this commentator's cam works quite nicely because I'm all over the place as well in the commentary box as well. So, yeah, that's what's happening at the moment. Right. 7.9 seconds separating first and second place at the moment, but it's mostly this battle between Lundgaard and Herta that is getting our attention. 1.3 seconds as we make our way through. As we come across the line to begin another lap, innit? 63, lap 63 out of 95. Getting close. With McLaughlin and Rail as our producers actually going for it in the in the background as well. Well, you know how this IndyCar broadcast was gonna go. It was always gonna be fun. It was always gonna be fun and quite chaotic as well. Right. Let's make our way through. So Pato Award. Still a few tenths ahead of Ilott. Power ahead of Armstrong at the moment. But do let us know in the live chat in terms of your thoughts on this race so far, and any predictions you have into the final stages of this race as well. So looking further back at the moment, it looks like there's been a bit of transponder issues all race long for Power. Every time we come across the line, he keeps switching positions. And visibly, he's not actually going for an overtake. I mean, I couldn't tell you whether he is, because we're taking a look at this battle for second place, but I've noticed that across earlier stages of the contest. Right. This is the move earlier on that came. An important move, and very nearly contact. Rear tyre, and there was a bit of contact with the front wing of Herta and Lundgaard, and now Herta is desperate to fight back. He's desperate to try take it back and take this second position as well. You've got Dixon, who's on his own at the moment, and then you get down to a Ward, who has got Ilott on the back, and Ilott has been stuck on the back all the way through. It's been a very, very long time that he's found himself just trying his absolute best to overtake, find a gap somewhere on this circuit. He's not been getting the best exit, has he? And then doesn't want to always use the push to pass. Here we go. We've got a bit of side-by-side heading down into the first turn as well. So a bit of battling. That's Malukas, who is going to be heading backwards. And up goes Siegel. Malukas, though, fighting back. And oh my word, he's retaken that position. Siegel now dropping down and at risk of losing another place, as that is going to be super tight stuff as they make their way by. What great racing here in the NTT IndyCar Championship, as Malukas was trying his absolute best to take the place. He was able to get there, and then all of a sudden, it continues to change. Let's take a look at a replay. So it's going to be all out of shape, and there, even thrown out wide was Siegel. So Siegel gets thrown out wide, and then loses 2 more positions. So Siegel out wide as he navigated his way by, as Malukas. First of all, it was Malukas versus Siegel. This was a battle that went all the way through, down the straight, a drag race. As we went down into the first turn, Malukas later on the brakes, and then Siegel finding the second phase of the corner, but then going into deep. Malukas getting the cutback, and then they bang wheels once and twice, and then Malukas takes the position, and then Siegel finds himself losing another place, and they were absolutely going for it through that part as Stingray Rob retook that position. Okay, we make our way through and go on to lap number 65 out of 95 as well, and we are still racing out there on the circuit very closely at the moment as Kirkwood looks to try and see whether he can attack and get past Stingray Rob. That was tight stuff into the first turn. No way through though at the moment in time as well. No way through for him. Kirkwood just will be assessing now where his rival is strong, where his rival is weak, and to try then and get an opportunity. Remember, as we mentioned earlier on in the broadcast, Kirkwood and Palou were really for such a long time your only 2 winners. Your only 2 winners of this season, until we've seen the performances come in from drivers like Award. So, absolutely knowing how to get the job done is Kirkwood. He absolutely knows how to do it. But lately, the results haven't been the best, let's just say. It has been a 26th, an 18th, and a 6th in the last 3 rounds of this championship for Kirkwood. And that is why he has been jumped by a Ward, who's moved through and into second position. And he looks to extend the gap in that battle for second place as well, because he's right now running in 5th position is Pato Award. As we make our way across their circuit, we go to Dixon as well, fighting away with the car all over the curb. As I mentioned, it's been all action behind the wheel for the drivers across this weekend, and it is continuing, and it is absolutely continuing on in these final stages as we look to try and journey our way to the end of another round of this IndyCar season, and then we'll look and turn our attention to the final 3 races of the year to round out IndyCar in 2025 and to round out what has been a pure, amazing season by Alex Palou. Pure performances and some great skill shown across all of the rounds in IndyCar. Fair play to Alex Palou, that is rounding out one of those years which, I mean, loads of us will be very disappointed that we've not seen a title fight. Scott Dixon, by the way, has come into the pit lane, but as I mentioned, for us, a lot of us, we want to see a great title fight, and we always do every season. But sometimes when you see a domination like no other, you just got to stand there and appreciate it to some degree sometimes. And that is exactly what Alex Palou's done. As I mentioned, Scott Dixon is in the pit lane, and he has made the move to come in as his crew await him to get to work. We also at the same time look at Award and Ilott as they come across the line and they go by, and Dixon will be rejoining in a few moments time as we see Power go on by. I think Armstrong went on through as well, and then it's going to be rejoining the road in 9th, but Newgarden's going to be close and Newgarden's going to be by. Newgarden able to take that position as the British driver Callum looks to try close in. Award just doing enough, and he's basically just absolutely made this work at the moment, hasn't he? He's just been able to keep the gap at a good distance. In the battle for second place that was brewing momentarily, it's not really a battle any much longer. Lundgaard's got a decent gap over Herta now. So it is a good gap between himself and third position. And then, of course, you get to a mammoth gap all the way down into between third and fourth, which, of course, leads us to Award as this race begins to quieten down a little bit. And I'm going to say the keyword because I wouldn't mind a little spice up, everybody. I wouldn't mind a little spice up coming into the contest as I'm getting shouted for saying that as well. I'm getting shouted at in the background for saying that statement. But, you know, you sometimes have to get the keywords out because... So, I'm just looking behind at the NASCAR to see what was going on there. I can't even work anything out there, so I guess this is turning out to be quite good. Callum Ilott is coming into the pit lane as well, and and we are making our way through, as I've just been threatened as well by my producer as well. But as I mentioned, still nothing compared to JB. Uh, I've just been told it also sounds horribly wrong at the same time. So that is going
Hello.
quite well at the moment. As we've got someone else coming as Lingard comes into the pit lane. But as I'm getting threatened from one producer, we've got someone else here to annoy us. As Hurt is also in as well.
Yeah, I'm here to threaten you because guess what? We had 5 to go with Bubba Wallace leading, and the rain has started to come.
Yeah. I'm sorry. So I cussed you again. Haha.
Yeah, thank you, Omi. Thank you
No
very
worries.
much.
Bye. Bye. Goodbye.
Suffer for 35 laps. Suffer.
Okay. Well, to be fair, I wasn't expecting a threat immediately. There we go. Yeah, Rip, that's why I didn't say it on air as well. I've just my producer made a mistake. Yeah, everybody, my producer made a mistake. So I didn't actually repeat those words on air, luckily. Right, okay, we make our way on to the second, but yeah, it's now peace and quiet as Joshua Birch has made his way. Back to NASCAR because I mean, when I said how's the weather looking, and as I tried to curse him, he was like, "Oh, the weather's fine. We're not gonna get any issues. There's no rain predicted." And just look what's gone on and happened at NASCAR. So that is why you don't annoy me at the start of the broadcast, Joshua Birch. So he can now enjoy NASCAR and enjoy doing that while we enjoy the sunny sights of Laguna Seca with INDYCAR navigating their way through as well. So it is turning out to be quite the day so far, as we saw pit stops come in. But of course, the broadcast was quite disturbed by Joshua Birch coming in and shouting, so apologies for that one. But we'll catch you up on everything as Rasmussen coming into the pit lane as well. So Rasmussen comes into the pit lane, gets the change of tyres, and will rejoin back into the fast lane as we look to Alex Palou, who is actually seeing cars ahead because they are cars that don't have to get out of the way, but of course no blue flags as I mentioned in IndyCar, but drivers can fight it, but they're not going to just completely get out of the way while they're battling amongst themselves as well at the moment. So Palou just has a bit of traffic to navigate his way with as he arrives onto the back of Schwartzman, and we'll look to try and make some work. So I'm actually going to get an overtake from Alex Palou to the inside, and there we go. Pick your breaking point, and that is how you overtake. A nice and tidy pass into the first turn as well. We see a Prima losing on circuit position at the moment. He's now a lap down. Rahal will be lapped in a few moments. Meanwhile, Schwartzman or Eilert rather, was attacking his way through further in the field as well. As we look now at the pit stop actually taking place for Eilert in that moment as he rejoined the fast lane. And now we turn our attention back to the circuit, and we'll be going back to the pit lane in a few moments because Newgarden's in, so is Armstrong, so is Power. So many drivers coming in the pit lane as well as we make our way through, and they all now have the crews waiting. So all of the crews are waiting at the moment. As here we go, Alex Palou's also into the pit lane. We weren't gonna, of course, not bring you in Alex Palou pit, so we brought everyone else in. But now it's time for Alex Palou to come in as well as he gets ready to hit his mark. Let's head down to the pit lane.
Perfectly like you would expect. Barry once told me pre-race, the strategy today, go as long as you can for as long as possible to shorten up this last stint.
Well, it's perfectly on time.
It is, Will Buxton, it is. Perfectly on time there as we make our way down. I'm just looking further behind because I've got the NASCAR pictures on my laptop as well. So I can see, oh, they're having fun behind a caution. Here we go.
Omi,
Go through. Oh,
it's red flag.
why am I seeing yellow then? There's yellow on there.
They've literally. It's raining so hard at turn one. It's raining so hard at turn one. It's very much like it was Spa. So we've now lost the track. We have.
Yeah, no one cares. Okay, anyway, Ericsson's in the pit lane. Last time this person came in, he completely missed so many important pit stops. So Malukas is in. Okay, so is Ericsson as well. So we covered those off. Okay, now he's back here. Yeah, his camera wasn't on stream. He's back now to listing, like a good boy. Okay.
But that's only because JT kicked me out. So when it came back in, it was automatically on again. So don't do that again. But yeah, 4 laps to go, and it's red flag. Thank you very much for the curse. Enjoy your Polo domination around Laguna Seca.
Oh well, at least we have cars going round. We have drivers attacking and everything going on at the moment.
Jake Sanson was better. Jake Sanson was better.
We're getting issues. Well, okay, we've got Jake Sanson. Well, I mean, I expect Jake Sanson to be better. He's a professional commentator who's done it for like probably 4, 5, 6 times. I've
Not listening now. Bye bye.
So many years. Okay. Anyway, as we perfect stuff. Right, Rossi in the pit lane as well. We had a bit of gravel being kicked up there. Quite a lot of it, quite a wall of it. So the drivers pushing the limits, and who knows, we're always close to a caution here in the NTT IndyCar series as they go through. The corkscrew does Alex Palou, and he is currently the driver with a 7-second advantage over car number 7 as well. We've seen a move further back. Rossi has got past Santino Ferrucci. So Rossi has got on-track position over Ferrucci as well, as that has been a move that has come in further back in the field as we continue following Alex Palou with the TV direction at the moment. But just looking through the order, it looks like at the moment that we are seeing Eilert still in the same position. To be fair, 1.8 second back, so now Award has some breathing space as there a bit more gravel being kicked. So that's been the story, as I mentioned, of this weekend as well. As I just look back to see what JB's doing, because of course I can see his commentator cam over on my laptop there as well. So I can see him sitting down. Wow, imagine sitting down. I didn't even sit doing a red flag delay, so haha. Okay, making our way by. Now, it is Palou who's going to be just trying to bring this one home. That's the goal, as we have 20 to go here in Laguna Seca. At the moment, 20 to go as well. And it is currently going to now be just looking for those battles lower down in the field. Into the pit lane we go with DiFrancesco. So DiFrancesco is in the pit lane at the moment and is also going to be getting ready to rejoin the fast lane, as the field separated by quite a bit, aren't they? At the moment, certain drivers and then a few others, all just looking now to assess where their rivals are weak, where their rivals are strong, because that's the data, that's the information that you need heading into the final stages of a race as well in this type of championship, as we've got an interruption coming in to the broadcast again. Hello. What? No, you're not needed, mate. You're not needed. Yeah, good.
Hey,
Yeah, go back to your rain delay. Goodbye. Okay, right. Peace and quiet once again. Peace and quiet once again in this broadcast. Right. So, let's look at what to look for out there around this venue as well, as we just currently look to try and see how this ending is going to unfold, with the laps ticking down and down. Is there any other curveballs to come our way? Is there anything still yet to happen? Remember, this is INDYCAR. It is not over till it's over, and anything can happen right in the final stages, especially a contest like this. And I'm being told to say it's not over till it rains in NASCAR. So, I mean, I'm not commentating NASCAR at the moment, but yeah, I guess if NASCAR fans are coming over to INDYCAR to watch a bit of racing, to watch some actual racing and not a red flag delay, yeah, it is. Oh, we've got a car going round, and Marcus Ericsson finds himself off the road. As we talk about NASCAR rain delays, we may just be getting to a caution, and we mentioned to you about the fact how INDYCAR could have something late. There could be some drama at the end, and here is the example. Ericsson gets out wide, round goes the car, and the race is brought back alive once again. And disappointment there for Ericsson, and we're still green for the moment, so nothing coming as of yet. But the car is stationary. What do INDYCAR do with this one then? What do they do? We still got a car stationary. Doesn't look like it's getting going anytime soon. He might be waiting for cars to go on by, but he's had this big gap, so I don't know whether he still has drive in it. Sometimes you can stall it as well. Stuff that you sometimes also see in the FIA Formula 2 Championship, but we're just waiting for an update. But a big moment that sees Ericsson go round in this contest, and there we go. We have got those yellow flags, as instead of seeing TV pictures, I see my producer absolutely waving at me. And okay, well, we do have the yellows out, and it was always going to happen with a stationary car. They were hoping that Ericsson could get going, and now this race is going to come alive with a caution, with 18 to go. It is game on. It may not be over yet, as Ericsson does get going now, but JB mentioning how we could be getting just an Alex Palou domination. I think there's still a bit left. I think there's still some stuff to happen, as he enjoys looking at Fox, as he looks as well on the NASCAR broadcast with everything going wrong. We, of course, following the Fox broadcast here in the NTT IndyCar series with their continuous ad breaks, but we luckily got as well the Sky coverage, which meaning we can go on and on and on, and the waffling doesn't stop as well. But yes, Lundgaard is one to watch on this. So it is quite interesting. It is quite interesting to see how Lundgaard's going to be able to keep an eye on him. We'll confirm this order at the moment of how it currently stands. As Palou, then Lundgaard, then Herter, then Dixon, Award, Eilert, Rasmussen is currently finding himself up there in 7th, and then it's Power, Armstrong. Newgarden is in 10th position. So I want to go bully the NASCAR broadcast for a little bit. So I'm going to hand over to Tom Gamer momentarily.
Caution on the timing screen here, but are we actually on a caution here? Yes, we are. There we go. Just before I started to panic, it was those two making ground to the tail of the field. Cautions do breed cautions. If you've got that on your INDYCAR bingo sheet, well done. 17 to go here. This is another test for Alex Palou. We saw him overcome all the hurdles thrown at him earlier on. Colton Herter, the threat from behind when he was on the black primary sidewall machine. Now he's going to have to manage a restart between himself and Christian Lundgaard. Annoyingly for him, I think it's lap cars with 10 to go would be sent to the back of the field. We've got 17 to go, so I think Schwartzman's going to be right in
Try up
the
and then
middle
back down. We've got a lot of errors
Christian
here. We're showing a lot of
Lundgaard
errors.
and
We're trying to work
Alex
through
Palou
something to tell you here.
So will Team Chevy be on the phone to Prema? Because they'll want Christian Lundgaard to have a clean shot at Alex Palou. Don't forget, this is not just Arrow McLaren, Christian Lundgaard versus Alex Palou and Team Honda, Chip Ganassi. This is Team Chevy in there as well. Colton Herter won't need a second excuse to try and repay the favour on Christian Lundgaard. He's going to get racy on this restart. This is going to get very exciting indeed. I don't think we're going to have much of a wait to go green either. Will there be a final twist in the tail at Laguna Seca?
Fox, the 2025 Honda Civic Type R, takes the field around. Full course caution. Marcus Ericsson has got his car back up and running. But here's a replay from on board with Pato O'Ward. So yellow coming up the hill.
Local yellow there, just to warn him that there's something. But guys, right here, look, you just can't see anything over the rise there.
That's insane.
That is absolutely
Nuts.
ridiculous.
Nuts. That should have been a yellow.
Immediately, broadside on a blind straightaway.
Immediately.
IndyCar has the data. They can see that that car isn't running. The engine's not on.
Imagine if you're Marcus Ericsson, how terrifying it is to sit there broadside. They're going 150 miles an hour right there. Let's take a look at the crew reaction. Looking at the data in the laptops, they were trying to figure out how to get Marcus Ericsson refired as the caution comes out.
Ericsson is in and being serviced. Just taking a look underneath the car for any damage potentially done. And there's some gesturing from the right-hand side of the car.
Comfortable running with the skid folded over.
Yeah, there'll be some damage probably on the bottom of that car from dragging along the curb. But if I'm Marcus, I wouldn't be surprised if that driver marches straight into the IndyCar trailer after this race is done.
I think they said that the skid plate was folded over.
We're only going to give up one spot here.
So I think the team's saying it's not worth
Marcus,
it.
I think we should really think about not being done with that skid folded back, buddy.
And that's a sad end to the day for Marcus Ericsson. This really not turning into his season, but I think everyone thankful that ultimately a very dangerous situation did not turn into something far worse. So Palou leads from Lundgaard and Herter. The field is bunched. The scene is set. 15 laps to go here at Laguna Seca. Alex Palou has looked untouchable all day.
He has indeed. But is there going to be a late twist in the tail of this NTT IndyCar race? It is Palou leading the way, Lundgaard in second, Herter in third. Is there anything still yet to change? It has been Palou's show so far. but can we see a late twist as we get ready to hit the throttle once again and go back to the green flags? Palou with a great restart. Meanwhile, further back there, it is going to be Eilert trying to defend from Rasmussen, who pulls to the outside. It is Palou leading by 0.5 of a second as we go into turn number 1. Lundgaard, then it's Herta. In 4th position, we find ourselves with Dixon, and there, just staying ahead is Eilert. He is just going to be ahead of Rasmussen, and Power there to capitalize in the background as well. As they make their way through, Power's now coming under threat momentarily as we go side by side. They're going single file though at the front of the field. Palou got the restart he wanted, and he's just going to do what he's done so many times, and that is just pull away. And he does that so well, does Alex Palou. But can Lundgaard do anything about it? Can Herta now take the chance to pounce back up against Lundgaard? So many question marks in the final 14 laps of the race. Down to the corkscrew we go. Lundgaard at the moment sticking with Palou. Herta sticking with Lundgaard. Top 3, not separated by anything. And I think also include Dixon in the mix. They're all together. They're all sticking with each other at the start of this restart and waiting for any opportunities to come their way. You've got Award, who is in 5th position, who is just ahead of Isla. That's been a battle that's been going on ever since. And they will hopefully now maybe get the chance to even go side by side, to keep an eye on that scrapping as we come over the line to begin the second lap after this safety car restart. And we arrive down into the first turn with the field mostly being single file. Let's see whether anyone can try and make some moves further back. Ferrucci having a look down the inside as he tries to get past Kirkwood, and he does get past Kirkwood. So a late lunge will be seeing Kirkwood head backwards. You'll see Ferrucci head forwards. Meanwhile, we're still side by side further back as well, as we have so many contenders in this race. You've got Daly just trying to stay ahead as well from Rossi. So that's a great scrap going on. 1.2 seconds between Palou and Lundgaard. Palou starting to pull away there. As let's look to a replay as well. And that was aggressive stuff. So that is going to be Ferrucci heading backwards momentarily as he got dive bombed. And there was an absolute mess. An absolute mess as we began lap number 2 of this safety car restart. And they absolutely went for it down there. There was contact heading down into the braking zone as well, as Kirkwood found himself losing out. As we go back now to live pictures and to a sight of momentarily making their way through as well. It is Lundgaard who is going to be having to defend. That'll be his main goal. Hurt has been given a chance. Oh my word, through the corkscrew, and we were heading to contact, and we were heading to a spin as well. So we were heading to a spin as we were battling our way through, and it can usually get quite aggressive at that part of the circuit. And in the NTT IndyCar Series, a big moment for Nolan Siegel. So Siegel drops down then after that spin. Off still to go. Around the circuit as Herta looks to see whether there's a chance to pounce. That is exactly what he'll be trying to do. We throw it down into the corkscrew once more. Doing enough for the moment is Lundgaard. And it's all about when does Herta possibly use, and with a push to pass he has left. It'll be 39 seconds left as well for Lundgaard, who tries to defend. Herta now coming out of the final corner, really trying to get a good exit to try and attack his rival down towards the first turn. That's been the goal for Arla all the way through, but he's just finding himself a few tenths behind. Into the braking zone we go. Off the first turn. Slightly wide line, trying to get the cut back, trying to get better traction at the moment. It's going to be Herta. So, some great stuff. It is Palou and Lundgaard, and then Herta, Dixon, Award, Eilert, Rasmussen, Power, Armstrong. That's been your order. So a couple of changes have gone on in the lower end of the top 10 on that restart. And now it's all eyes. It's all attention back to see how this one is going to end as we continue ticking through the laps around this circuit. Lundgaard is going to be trying his absolute best now to just bring this one home. But it's all about trying to catch Lundgaard out if you are Colton Herta. And then if you're Dixon, just waiting to pick up the scraps. Make sure you're not falling too much in behind. And talking about falling in behind, we are going to be losing out of the contest after a big moment at a spin for Ferrucci, who was defending, who was attacking, and we are going to see Santino Ferrucci go round, beached into the gravel trap, and say hello to another yellow flag, say hello to another caution, and another reset in this race as well. Well, my producer, JC, was saying about the fact as once again the broadcast gets interrupted by a certain individual. Anyway, yeah, basically, I was getting told how we could end up finishing this IndyCar race before NASCAR, which, you know, to be fair, as I can see, they're still... Oh, I don't even know what they're showing anymore. Yeah, we could still end it. We absolutely, I think, still will, considering they're having absolute fun at the moment. So, as we make our way through, and as I feel like I'm about to get interrupted again.
So how does it feel to, you know?
Oh,
oh, that's dangerous.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so you've got the field coming through with the pace car there. That's a bit dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turn 2 is ready. Bye-bye.
Okay. Thanks for that info.
Shush.
Oh god. Oh, that will be fun. Like, I've had fun cursing the NASCAR broadcast 3 times now, as well, and I think I've done so on all occasions where you haven't been here, JT. So that's good. As... Lovely. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, 9 to go. And yeah. Yeah.
Omi, we're live on both channels. Could you just give us a quick update while you're under caution what's happening in IndyCar?
Right. Yeah, so in the NTT IndyCar series, we are finding ourselves right now with what's been an interesting race. We started with a few cautions and we're also ending it with some cautions as well. Alex Palou has really pretty much had a bit of a domination show, but we're looking to see whether anyone can try spoil the party near the end as well. Lundgaard is right now being a contender in second place, but it's Herta who he's fighting with. Herta's trying to do his best to get into that second place. Dixon's running in fourth. Award and Ilott, they've been glued together all race, but the overtake has not come Ilott's way all the way through. So if he is able to find a way by in the final stages, it will mean the world after staring at the back of Award's car. Then it's Rasmussen, Power, Armstrong, and then we find ourselves with Newgarden. Here we go then. Let's prepare for another restart.
Thank you.
We've been here before, and now all eyes are going to go to Alex Palou, who will once again lead us down into the final corner. And we are getting ready to go back to the green flags with 9 to go around this circuit. And it is Alex Palou leading the way. It is a good restart once again. Looking further back, though, in fourth position. Award's going to be close. Award's going to be close. Having to defend, there was Dixon. Dixon goes deep in, though. Award may just get the chance to go down the inside. What about the Prima there as well of Ilott, who may have had an opportunity? Ilott does have a chance as well to try and find a way through. So crazy stuff there on that restart as they were fighting their way by, and it was Dixon who went in deep but is still in fourth as Ilott now looks to try and finally make this overtake, but it's still not coming his way. And now Ilott having to defend because all the way around the outside tries to go Rasmussen, but he can't overtake at the moment. So Award did get past Dixon, so Dixon's dropped to fifth. Award moves up to fourth. Ilott is still trying to attack and move up to fifth, but he can't do so, and he's also having to defend now. So that was an interesting restart, which has a 9/10 advantage between Palou and Lundgaard. Make that 1 second now as Palou does what he does best and pulls away at the front of the field. So, getting quite feisty then on that restart. But now all eyes once again are to Herta and Lundgaard to see whether we are going to see a battle for second and third position. And can Herta do anything about it? Can Herta try find a way through? Schwartzman has lost a couple of positions. And Devlin DiFrancesco has moved up He's gone up. Meanwhile, here we go into turn one. Herta so close onto the back of Lundgaard, basically pushing him through. That's the closest he's been when we've got down into turn one, but critically, he's trying to find a way by and cannot do it at the moment. So it's getting close, it's getting tight, and that is exactly the case further back in the field as well. So much racing as McLaughlin gets past Newgarden as we kick up the dust once again. Power battling up against Rasmussen as well. That is for 7th and 8th position, but it's all coming down to the final laps here in IndyCar to decide most of the positions, but it doesn't look like P1 because Alex Palou is absolutely pulling away a 1.9, which that will become 2 seconds any second as well, with the way he is able to push and is just able to get on with it. The talent that Alex Palou has is absolutely remarkable. Right, let's look at a moment as we were just seeing a replay there as well of a wide moment momentarily coming from Rasmussen. So he's dropped down to 9th position. So he's found his way all the way dropping down. And that's a disappointment for him, considering he was fighting and attacking Callum Ilott in that phase of the race as well. So very interesting stuff there. But Palou, 2.2 seconds. And then, as I mentioned, the main focus is, can Lundgaard defend from Herta? Can Herta do anything bold? Can he do something brilliant at the end to steal away a race win award in 4th? Dixon's in 5th. Callum Ilott is going to be, once again, still trying to get into 5th, but he's not awarded. He's fighting as Dixon instead. And then we find ourselves with Power in 7th. You've got drivers there waiting to capitalize on any opportunity there could be. And McLaughlin is still going for it with Newgarden, and there's some battles going on and some overtakes going on further back at the moment. So it would be nice to check in with some of those as well. As we throw it into the final corner, it's the battle for 2nd place, though. That's getting the attention of so many, I'm sure, as we bring it then down towards the first turn, but it's still 0.6 of a second. It'll be closing in, but it's still a bit of a distance between 2nd and 3rd at the moment because of how much we are currently seeing Lundgaard push. He's just doing enough. Herta getting affected a little bit by that dirty air as well. Of course, not as big as F1, but it still exists in this championship. And then it's all about the deployment of the push to pass as well. What can you do with that? How many seconds do you have left? And is there anything that you've still got as well as you try and make some late overtakes? That's sometimes what it can all come down to in the IndyCar Championship. Palou doing enough at the moment, and he's, of course, trying to build a gap and show what he was capable of and what he was able to do. As I get a hello by the producer as well. Like, we haven't been here for a few hours. So, fun stuff. Yeah, I said hello, and he thought I said hello as well, coming into play. Oh my god, someone's unmuted. Oh.
I want to ask a question.
Hello, yes.
No, how is Alex Palou 3 seconds ahead of Lundgaard, and we've only just gone back to green flag running? What is that car running on?
I mean,
I can't believe how much he's already got over Lundgaard. That's insane.
Yeah, well, of course, the producer suggested that there's fuel, and yeah, I did see fuel put in, so I would assume that that the car is running on a bit of fuel, everybody, as well. But yeah, JB slightly confused, even though, well, I mean, to be fair, he has missed loads of IndyCar races. I'm not surprised that he forgets Alex Palou and what he's capable of and what he can do, because he just manages to do stuff that is absolutely remarkable. But can Herta make his name? Can Herta do something spectacular as well? 4 to go. They are battling to the end. 2 great, amazing talents going for it. And it all could get quite interesting come these final stages of the race. The best result so far of the season for Colton Herta is P3. The position he's in right now is P3. So maybe he might just be able to do something about Lundgaard. So it's going to be fascinating. He'll want the drive. He'll want a personal best this season of second place. But is he going to be able to take it away from Lundgaard? That's going to be the question. A driver who has been second already this season.
But not any fuel, Mr. Joshua Birch. 100% renewable racing fuel. Fancy, I know. Ooh. Anyway, I'm going back to talkback. Bye!
Yeah, back to talkback. He says hello to me as well. I love how we're not making talkback because I just keep saying whatever he's saying in my ear because I feel like it would be interesting input for the audience as well. So apparently JT's dog is being a pain. Delbo, basically, everybody. I'm sure there's been plenty of stories on that before, so I think you all know. Okay, let's look at what happened earlier on. Lundgaard setting it up the inside, and that's a big moment. Fox have highlighted that and shown us that replay a few times, but that's because this battle for second place that goes on, this reflects a lot on what we saw earlier on. Herta will know that he got bullied out of the way, and he will want this back, and he may even give back the same treatment. Herta closing in. Is there going to be the move? He can't get close enough with 2 to go, but he's giving it his all, and he knows these are the final stages, and he has to push and take it right to the limit as he tries to take second place away. But you've only got 8 seconds left of the push to pass system for Colton Herta, who's already been third this season, wants to make it into second. Is he going to be able to do it, though, is the question. Can Lundgaard just keep hold and get and match his personal best already from this season? It's going to be very fascinating to see as we're about to make our way into these final stages. Just keeping an eye as well on the NASCAR and specifically Joshua Birch as he just sits there. I see him letting the World Feed do the talking as per normal as well, as my producer is telling me to guess something, but okay. At the moment, interesting stuff. Right. Well, I mean, there's no guessing when it comes to Lundgaard and Herta. We know how this one's going to be going. As the white flag is in the air as we come across the line, and we will make it onto the final lap. The next flag is going to end the race, and we'll be awaiting for a race winner. Herta closing in, but can't get through. Had he been in the position he was last lap, on this lap, maybe it would have been a dive bomb, but he wasn't close enough to get through there. And Herta is now going to have to do something extraordinary. Is going to have to do something remarkable in these final stages if he is to take this one away from Lundgaard. Palou is on his way to victory. We know that one. But who's going to be in second? Can Herta put in the best sectors, the best corners of his life to take this position away? Award will be in fourth, and Dixon will find himself in fifth. It's been a great day for loads of the drivers at the top. Herta will be disappointed if he can't get to this second, which it doesn't look like he'll be able to. But there will be no disappointment for Alex Palou because he's done what he's done so many times this season once again, and he is preparing for that victorious moment as he comes out of the final corner on the last lap. The crowd on their feet in the grandstand as Alex Palou comes across the line to win in Laguna Seca. What a place to win a race, and Alex Palou has added to that glorious list he has this season. Lundgaard matches his best result of the season with second place, and Herta matches his PB as well with P3. Award in fourth, Dixon in fifth, Eilert in sixth. Then it's Power who finishes in seventh, Herta in eighth, Power in ninth, and Malukas in 10th position. A great race, which is won by Alex Palou. He's done the job once more, and he leaves everyone across this circuit in celebration at the moment. As NASCAR's under overtime, which I can assume they're all having fun as well. But now, welcome to the 8th-time club this season for Alex Palou. He joins a remarkable list, an absolutely remarkable list of drivers who have managed that. And then it is going to be very interesting to see how it is all going to play. My producer wants to list all of the names as well for us. Yes, the producer wants to list out all of the names. I'm going to let him do that.
AJ Foy, Alonso Senior, Mario Andretti, Tony Bettenhausen, Michael Andretti, Sebastian Bourdais, Alonso Jr., and now Alex Palou.
Yeah, absolutely. No worries. No worries. No worries. But yeah. Oh, didn't know since when F1, well, had such a great battle for second place. My word. Okay, right. Let's now review the races for the different drivers. Pelot, of course, we mentioned just complete domination from him. Of course, had to momentarily make some overtakes, but other than that, it was quite sorted. Lundgaard and Herta put on a show. Herta wasn't close enough on the last when we entered the last lap. He just wasn't close enough. I feel like had it been the penultimate lap and had it been the gap that time around, it could have been dive bomb as well, as they make their way and bring it down into the pit lane. But Alex Palou about to head to victory lane once again. And Alex Palou has put in that type of season and he's racking up the wins. We were, of course, mentioning the drivers who've all managed 8 wins plus in a season. Well, I mean, 10. 10 is... yeah, the producer also listed them for us. But the highest number was 10 in a single season. Can car 10 get that by the end of the year? Let's see whether Joshua Birch will be back to call that. Or, well, let's see whether Joshua Birch will be back, or will he continue to flirt with NASCAR? Which, if he does so, then I'll just continue cursing it on top of the car. And Alex Palou punching the air in delight, the star of INDYCAR once again, and into the hands of his crew that have assisted him to get there as well. A car that has been put to him every single weekend, and it is the same pictures that we're used to as we see a individual bullying going on somewhere in this broadcast, well, in NASCAR broadcast, but yeah, that's going on at the moment as we now just witness these special scenes. Okay, let's head down to Fox, who are speaking right now, to Alex Palou.
By everybody at CTR, at Honda, DHL for giving us everything we needed to be as fast as we were. It's been an awesome weekend, awesome year overall, but yeah, today was something else. It was super fun to be here, one of my favorite tracks for sure. Couldn't be happier right now.
How were you able to re-strategize under those late yellows?
Yeah, I mean, it was not easy. Like, we had to push, we had to try and be ready for those yellows. We knew that we were not on the best conditions on tires, especially the 26. I was waiting for him to come back at the end, but yeah, luckily we had enough pace to open a small gap and get the win.
And we will let you celebrate, rightfully so. Alex Palou, 8th win on the season.
8 wins.
Was Joshua Birch just getting ready to unmute to talk over Alex Palou, our race winner? Were we about to see Alex Palou get interrupted by this person who's come in the broadcast again? Why what?
I was just going to say quickly, Bubba Wallace's attempt now to win the race has gone after a late crash and another overtime.
Yay, enjoy overtime.
Are you telling me that Kyle Larson could win this?
I am telling you that Carl Larson could win this for a second year running.
Are you telling me that I could get a pickle winner point which was submitted as literally 2 seconds before the green flag dropped?
Yes.
Also,
yes. Yeah, thanks. All right, bye-bye. Wrap up there and join us.
Yeah. He's having
Are we on camera?
He's a good boy.
No, I don't want to be on camera.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, okay. Let's regroup. So, back on camera then. What an IndyCar race it has been so far, as I just get put off the screen by some guy with glasses. God. Okay, perfect. Let's see if I can just stay in this frame. Right, okay. What a brilliant IndyCar race it has been. Absolutely remarkable stuff from start to finish. Palou as the winner, and then it was Newgarden. We'll run you through the full results. We'll take the moment to run you through the full results as well after some incredible contests. it was Alex Palou who ended as the winner. Lundgaard in second. Herta was in third. Then it was Award who finished in fourth position. And then it was Dixon in fifth. Eilert was in sixth. And then it was Will Power in seventh. Marcus Armstrong was in eighth. And then in ninth it was Christian Rasmussen. In 10th it was Scott McLaughlin. Joseph Newgarden was in 11th. Rahal was in 12th. Malukas in 13th. Daly in 14th. And then it was Rossi in 15th. Kirkwood in P16. Foster in 17th. Siegel in 18th. And then it was Stingray Rob ahead of Di Francesco. Robert Schwartzman was in 21st. And then it was Santino Ferrucci in 22nd. Venus Rique in 23rd. Rosenquist in 24th. Ericsson in 25th. Jacob Abel was a retirement along with Ericsson. And Kiffin Simpson. They were all involved early on in the race. Incredible stuff. Our full classification at the end of an IndyCar race, which has been brilliantly won by Alex Palou as well. And well, I guess now, as my producer puts his headset back on, and I guess I'm gonna get him on air as well, as he's like to give some input. Okay, so JT, I'd love to get your final thoughts from this broadcast, final thoughts on this IndyCar race.
Finish NASCAR race. What an absolute masterclass. We started an hour and a half after the NASCAR race, and I'm going to shut up because someone important is speaking.
I'm very proud of the number 7 Wheeler Chevrolet team.
As a team, 11 podiums this year all across the board for Arrow McLaren, and Christian Lundgaard finishes second.
Colton Herta, Laguna Seca, and your
Another
family name
important
just seems to
person.
mean success. How was it out there today?
It was good. You know, I'm so happy whenever we get to come back here. This place has been great to me, been great to my family, and it's a real treat. It's a real driver's track to come out here, especially in an IndyCar. You know what it's like to get everything out of it. It's difficult. So always happy to be on the podium here. The Cambridge Honda was super fast, and we'll carry this momentum into Portland in 2 weeks.
Congratulations, buddy.
All about the momentum now. Great.
Thank you, Will Buxton.
Wow, are we saying that Will Buxton isn't important now? Because you basically just
This season, another win for Alex Palou.
Oh, it's time for Omi's job. Omi, results.
Oh, well, I've already gone through results a second ago, mate.
Right.
When you wandered off.
Alex Palou, Christian Lundgaard, Colton Herta, Patrick Ward, Scott Dixon, Callum Eilert in 6th, with 7th Will Power, Marcus Armstrong, Christian Rasmussen, Scott McLaughlin. Then 11th, Newgarden, Rahal, Malukas, Daly, Rossi, Kirkwood, Foster, Siegel, Stingray Rob, Devlin, Di Francesco, Schwartzman, Ferrucci, VK, Rosenquist, Ericsson, Abel, and Kiffin Simpson. You are welcome, because my lead commentator doesn't know how to do his job.
Wow, I mean, I already went through the results, so you've gone through it for the second time, so yay. Okay, well, yeah, apparently JT's dog went a little bit wild, and I'm not going to repeat the same words on it, but yeah, let's just leave it at that. Okay, well, final thoughts then, final thoughts, as you were interrupted by important people. I can't hear you at the moment, Tyler.
That's because I'm working magic.
Oh.
Ready?
Right, okay.
Ready?
Okay.
So, yeah, final thoughts. As we have the podium ongoing, Omi has no idea what I just did, but here comes Christian Lundgaard up to the podium. Final thoughts, good race. I am very glad that Sanson went to bed, because I think he would have gone to bed on live on broadcast, because he was very nearly going to bed on live broadcast, hence why we went to battle screen and stayed on battle screen for a while because of that as well. But an absolute legend is Jake Sanson, and well, good to have him on the call for the first half of the race. Omi, you are out of frame because the cameras are messing up. Just step the other way, Thank you. One to go.
Oh.
Okay. So we're going to wrap up here.
Yeah.
Wait, no, JB, keep your camera on it fixed. Omi's camera, please. Thank you.
You did. Yes.
He's not going to do it, is it?
Oh my god. Easy guy.
Okay, let me put my camera on.
This is guy.
There we go. Okay, right, Omi, final thoughts.
Absolutely brilliant race. A brilliant IndyCar race. An amazing round of Laguna Seca, and looking forward to the final 3 rounds as well. So yeah, quite a lot of fun. Enough. Okay. Right. There we go. I think that's enough thoughts for myself and JT, and from some random person as well who was on the broadcast earlier. But anyway, a proper person who's on the broadcast, Jake Sanson. Sanson is a legend, by the way. I've been told that we have to say that, and you know, I don't have any I don't have any obligations with that as well. Right, anyway, that is the end of the IndyCar race. We've got to go off air before JB's race finishes as well. Thank you very much for everyone who has joined us in IndyCar, and we will see you as the championship continues in 2 weeks' time. Goodbye.